Jared DeVan Anderson was born on November 16, 1999 in Toledo, Ohio, the same town that produced Robert Easter Jr. and Lindell Holmes, who are both former champions. But even then, the town has never produced a heavyweight as dangerous as Anderson. Anderson started boxing in 2008 at the age of 8. At the time, he was acting out at school and fighting, but as soon as he understood his potential and the financial benefits of boxing, he began to dedicate himself to the sport. He competed in the U.S. National Championships, where he won the 2017 and 2018 gold medals, and from there, he got signed to Bob Arum's Top Rank Boxing. Jared boasts an impressive list of accomplishments in the unpaid ranks and qualified for the Olympic trials. At the age of 19, Anderson made his professional boxing debut against Daniel Infante in October 2019. Wasting no time, about 54 seconds into the first round, Jared landed a brutal left hook to the body.
In the opening minute of this fight, Infante goes
and stopped him from continuing the fight. He announced his arrival into the world of heavyweight boxing emphatically. With no injuries taken, Jared was ready to continue bullying his opponents and got back in the ring a month later against Andrew Satterfield. And just as brutal as ever, he showed his ability to stay in the pocket without taking hardly any damage.
Black, gray, and red trunks.
He threw a combo.
Jab, trying to establish that jab, a lot of pressure.
But it was a devastating left uppercut.
Big shots upstairs, body, then back upstairs, really just having his way.
That sent Andrew Satterfield crashing halfway into the first round.
He put his man down, his man gets up, goes to the body, finishes off today.
In 2020, Jared fought 5 more times despite the COVID-19 pandemic. He soared to a perfect 6-0 record, knocking out every one of his opponents in highlight reel style.
will end the night.
In June, he faced off against Johnny Langston, and for the first time in his pro career, he went past the first round. Langston was no slouch, but still wasn't a match for the brutal combinations Anderson threw.
I don't know if I believe that, Dre. He said in the fighter meeting.
And there's a good body shot, right hand from the undefeated Ohio native.
Anderson stunned him with an uppercut.
Round number 3, Langston looks very weak.
Then ended him with a left hook.
Land an uppercut, see if he can close the show. Langston's not.
That forced the referee to call off the fight.
Now 4-0 with 4 knockouts.
Just a month later, Anderson fought Hector Perez and displayed a really beautiful jab.
When you're new to the game, you've been an amateur.
Using his 6'6" reach, he fought behind the jab before opening up his right hand.
So naturally, it's hard to not believe your own.
And when he did, he unleashed on Perez and knocked him out about 90 seconds into the bout.
And a knockdown scored.
Broke down Perez. Now that
The next fight for the 20-year-old Anderson was Rodney Hernandez. In this fight, he took things a bit slower.
he's gonna get Hernandez out of there, and what you're seeing.
And to be fair, averaging less than 2 minutes per fight, he needed a little more experience in the ring, so he didn't force the finish. Anderson was having fun.
Out. Anderson, 6'4" frame, carrying 246.
He had his hands down and kept messing around with lazy jabs.
Been around the game for much longer than.
Until he found his shot and took it.
Reading and eating a big left hand from.
Correct. And you see what happens when you use your jab.
To close out 2020, Anderson fought Luis Pena and wasted no time in dispatching him. Seeing that his opponent was employing a high guard, Anderson landed several shots to the body.
Right, starting to make punishment is being delivered at the hands of Anderson.
He cornered him.
Ortega on the low blow, back to the body with the jab.
And just like an injured animal, Pena stopped fighting back before the referee intervened to end the fight.
Around, absolutely no reason for this fight to continue. Ends with what was inevitable.
2021 was an even worse year for his opponents as Anderson took his skills to a new level entirely. In February 2021, he fought Kingsley Ibe, a Nigerian heavyweight that was to be a real test.
American heavyweight becomes his identity. That's a good thing.
In round 1, Anderson quickly pressured his opponent and found his range with the jabs.
To be an easier, he's crude, he's awkward. Anderson responds to some early.
In the second round, Anderson played the patient game,
An explosive fighter in spots, so
trying to hit without getting hit.
Mentions the lack of Kingsley Ibe, limited as a.
Anderson landed very fast jabs and made Ibe's nose bleed.
then he could potentially.
And we saw the corner.
Having landed 48% of his jabs, Anderson started to open up in the third round by going to the body Anderson needed Iba to drop his hands, and it worked.
1 year old.
For the first time, Anderson went past 10 minutes in a fight. At round 4, he took his sweet time, throwing feints and even taunting his opponent.
Disputed heavyweight championship.
2 minutes and 19 seconds into the 6th round, Anderson forced Iba into a swing.
Big guy.
And miss in the pocket before touching Iba with a right hand. And following up with a devastating left hook.
276, and he's absorbing a lot.
And came back with offense and caught him with a nice.
That sent Iba flying to the canvas, knocked out cold. This was the fight that put him on the map.
Anderson didn't give him that opportunity. A great step back, beautiful right hand to the top of the head.
2 months later, Anderson took on Jeremiah Carpensy.
A lot of heavyweight.
For this fight, Anderson dressed up in full costume like a chef. Well, he was ready to cook against Carpensy. In the first round, after feeling his opponent, Anderson immediately put the beating on him, dropping him with a vicious right hook to the body.
Third right hand to the body, and that scores.
Carpensy stood up for more beating.
Scores the knockdown. Last 15 seconds.
And about 20 seconds into the second round, he got dropped again by the same strike.
Same spot.
Eventually, he had enough, and that took Anderson's record to 9 wins and 9 knockouts.
Baby Anderson.
But to get to double-digit wins, Anderson had to fight Vladimir Tereshkin, an undefeated Russian with a 4-fight knockout streak. The vacant NABF junior heavyweight title was on the line, and in this fight, he came in super aggressive. As the second round was closing, Anderson had Tereshkin exactly where he wanted, unloading a barrage of strikes.
I'm not sure if he's faking it or not. Looks like he was wobbled. It almost comes out. Body shot, he's hurt.
Before the referee stepped in to call the fight.
Says that's it.
With the win, he rose to 10 wins and 10 knockouts. In December of 2021, he fought Alexander Telsinko, a Ukrainian with a 17-1 record, with 12 of those coming by KO. In the first, the boxers traded shots.
Anderson goes 240. Very accurate early on from that southpaw stance.
But Anderson was the sharper, faster, and more powerful fighter.
Go comes firing back.
There it is again.
Ooh, comes at short range.
Taking no time to warm up, Anderson landed some shots. But when he settled down and started setting things up, he showed the difference between the two. He fought the second round even more deliberately. A right hand down the middle,
He does have
followed by a brutal left hook,
being blinding.
sent Teslenko face-planting on the canvas. In August 2022, Anderson fought Miljan Rovkanen, a Serbian who came into the fight with 21 wins and 2 losses. He was riding a 5-fight win streak, but when he fought Anderson, he found his bus stop. Fighting out of orthodox, Rovkanen had excellent movement. But Anderson was just better at finding his shots.
That orthodox stance, so you have long left jab, going to the body consistent.
Due to Rovkanen's head movement, Anderson threw many shots to the body.
And once Anderson punches, he stays there. He stays in.
In fact,
That completely drained his opponent.
His instincts. He definitely knows what he's doing inside.
In the final seconds of round 2, as soon as Rovkanen got tired and dropped his hands, Anderson went upstairs and put him down.
left hand comes in, and a knockdown scored.
It was the end of the night for Rovkanen, and Big Baby extended his record to 12 wins and 12 knockouts. This fight was the second best performance of his career. In December 2022, Anderson fought Jerry Forrest at the Madison Square Garden for the vacant WBO International Heavyweight title. Forrest came in with a record of 26 wins and 5 losses, with 20 of his wins being by knockout. The real Big Baby, who came with an undefeated record of 12 wins and 0 losses, was simply the wrong opponent at the wrong time. In the first round, Forrest decided to play Anderson's game by going jab for jab. Fighting out of the orthodox stance and with a reach of 198 centimeters, he stood in the pocket with Anderson and was willing to stand and bang. Early in the first round, he landed a solid overhand left, which Anderson ate but hardly got bothered by. Fighting patiently, Anderson made good reads of his opponent and landed several shots to the body that affected Forrest's rhythm. He landed a powerful right, and even ate several left hooks. This was the beginning of the end for Forrest. In the second round of the fight, Anderson smelled blood and kept unleashing on him. Till the referee intervened to stop Forrest's suffering. This extended Forrest's losing streak and advanced Jared's win streak to 13. 4 months later, Anderson fought for the vacant WBC USNBC heavyweight title against George Arias, an undefeated Dominican boxer with an 18-0 record. In the first round, Arias showed lots of movements.
So he got the
right on my
reset.
hand. Yeah, you know, he reminded me of Mike Tyson when I
Terrified of Big Baby's brutal combinations, Arias fought off the back foot.
downstairs. That's how you
So Anderson had to hunt him down by attacking his body
hands go. Right now, he feels that heat.
and throwing a ton of jabs.
We saw moments ago, right back to it, is Anderson.
Well, it worked, and in the second and third rounds, his movement reduced massively.
That's what you're seeing right now. You know,
Anderson found his shots better and put an absolute beating on him.
performance against Usyk.
Shots from Anderson. Arias absorbing punishment.
After the third round, Arias' corner called the fight, and Arias' undefeated record of 18 wins came to an end.
Jared, the real Big Baby!
Big Baby had the biggest test of his career when he met Charles Martin, who is an ex-IBF champion. Martin had won the IBF belt by third-round knockout when he stopped Vyacheslav Gluskov. The fight happened before 7,234 highly partisan fans at the Huntington Center in his hometown of Toledo, Ohio. Big Baby had finished all of his opponents and had never fought more than 6 rounds, but that all changed against the veteran Charles Martin. Things initially appeared to be going as normal for Anderson, who dominated early.
Because that's my best weapon to keep him off.
See, but Martin, what he's doing is he's scoring.
Of Charles Martin and then step.
And even scored a knockdown in round 3.
Drops! Martin, he sees something coming, slips a shot, and counters in between. You see the risk?
After claiming he tripped,
Feet got tangled.
Martin cleared his head and got back into the fight. In round 5, he connected with a big left hand, which forced Anderson to initiate a clinch.
Got him in trouble.
Martin caught him with the left hand.
There it is!
That left him stumbling to stay up like a baby giraffe on roller skates. After 10 rounds, neither fighter was able to find the finishing blow, and the fight ultimately went to the judges' scorecards.
The real Big Baby!
Despite the 10-round battle, Anderson was ready to fight 56 days later against Andrei Rudinko, a 39-year-old Ukrainian boxer with 42 fights and had only been stopped once by technicality. Rudinko came out pretty active, but Anderson had Rudinko off balance with the right hand.
Stab jab, then comes with the right hand and sends him off.
Anderson simply got stronger with each round, courtesy of his commitment to depositing shots to the body.
Being the prospect French contender.
During the 5th round, the tough Rudinko lowered his arms against the ropes to protect his ribs from Anderson's incessant body attack.
Not at all.
As planned, the real Big Baby started unleashing heavy-handed,
Danko's not
damaging shots upstairs. The onslaught of unanswered punches
This is
forced the referee to step in and stop the bout.
Anderson's putting down.
Jared, the real Big Baby!
Since gaining recognition in the boxing world, Anderson has trained with Tyson Fury in camp as a sparring partner, and the American learned a lot working with the Gypsy King, and even denied rumors of knocking out the Gypsy King in sparring. But Anderson is no longer content with being their student.
But just to clear up anything, no, it was no knockout, no, it was no knockdown in camp. Love to work.
3 years and 10 months into his professional boxing career, Jared Anderson has fought 16 times with 16 wins and no losses. No wonder he has even drawn comparisons to the greatest, Muhammad Ali, by his promoter Bob Arum, although Anderson himself would rather not be compared to anyone. Throughout his career, he has walked out as Chucky and even as a prisoner while walking out to the ring. It was done as an ode to his incarcerated brother. His nickname is something Arum doesn't like about Jared. The Big Baby moniker is also used by disgraced heavyweight Jarrell Miller, who was almost losing his career because of a failed drug test. But having tatted the nickname twice on his body, Jared is changing the name for nobody. Rising from a prospect and one of boxing's most promising up-and-comers to a contender is the next step in Jared Anderson's rise. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more combat sports magic, punch the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Anderson doesn't really fight like a heavyweight.
No, he doesn't.
He's like a middleweight trapped in a heavyweight's body. He's got that mentality.